Hi there, how you doing? It's Nick again from This Veteran Can. So, it's the weekend of Ironman Virtual Race 2. Sunday the 12th today. However, I did the race Friday night, so Friday the 10th. I went out and did it as soon as it could start, so I messed up the timings. Initially, I thought it said 1800 hours, 6 o'clock. That's when we can start. However, it's Greenwich Mean Time +1, so that meant starting at 7. So this time it was again in the duathlon format, run, bike, run, but you can mix it up any order you want, and you don't have to do it one after the other. You can do it over the 3 days, over 2 days, whichever way you want to do, which is good because it adds in a bit more flexibility. So for me, Friday night, starting off, I thought I want to do the bike outside. So back on my trusty old mountain bike, the 650B, ran the same laps as I did last weekend for the Virtual Race 1. However, this time the distances were 3 kilometre run, 20 kilometre bike, and then 10 kilometre run. My watch is set up in miles, so I had to do a little bit of maths, and I just nipped it just over so I wouldn't get caught short. We don't want to go and do all that effort and find you're 400 metres short and it doesn't count. You've got to do it again, especially on the mountain bike, no matter what distance. So Friday night I did it in bike, run. So 20k mountain bike. No, what am I talking about? I'm going mad. 40k mountain bike. If I did the 20k, I'd have been doing it again, and I wouldn't have been too happy. So 40k mountain bike, came back in, and then did the 3k run, followed by the 10k run. It's actually interesting. So on the mountain bike, I went at it harder than I did the previous weeks. It's much shorter distance by 50 kilometres, which makes a hell of a difference on your legs, allows you to push harder. Again, I'm stuck with the same problems of not having any gels or anything. I did take my trusty pineapple juice and water combination out on the bike. That did okay for me. That at least kept me hydrated, if nothing else, and it got a little bit of carbs in the system. But I should have done 5 laps on the bike. However, it was getting dark. I did 4 laps on the bike, came in and finished the last lap behind the wire as such, and it went not pitch black, but quite dark, so it wouldn't have been safe to be out on the roads due to the lack of lights I've got on the mountain bike. So that was good. Somehow I on Strava finished in 10th position on the TT route that we've got around here. I imagine everyone else is on road bikes, which just goes to show if I was on my road bike, it would have made a hell of a difference. But anyway, it's nice to get out and do it and not suffer that 90 kilometres on that bike. So came in, dropped the bike off, and then I did the 3k run, stopped that, recorded it, and then did the 10k run. Because it's all inside the wire, in my head that counts as my back garden. Luckily it's quite a big back garden and I'm not really bumping into anyone at the minute, especially at night. No one wants to be out running on a Friday night. Most people have got better things to do apart from some of us crazy triathletes. So 3k run, no dramas. However, by this stage I couldn't really see where I was going, so it's kind of running on faith in some areas. But the good thing was it was nice and cool, so it wasn't overheating. And once that was done, straight into the 10k. 10k was a little bit more emotional because it got even darker. But interestingly enough, I'll be going different parts of that route. The laps I was doing, you go through, it's like you're going through different pockets of air. So it's not massively hot anyway. But then when you're running, you're generating your own sort of body heat, and it's just nice to hit those colder patches of air, like when you're doing open water swimming. I notice it when I'm not in a wetsuit, like swimming around the lake, you suddenly hit patches of the lake where it's where it's just that little bit cooler, and it's just nice bit of refresh. So it's good to experience that. So I finished that all strong. I think the only thing that let me down really is the time on the bike. However, positive note from that, I'm having to work a lot harder on the mountain bike than I would on my road bike. So I must be getting some gains from nothing, if nothing else, from that. And yeah, it is entertaining being out on that bike. And those disc brakes are helping me stop, because I still need to get the brake blocks for my road bike. Another downside, I suppose, is my road bike. I've had a proper bike fit done on that. That was about 2.5 hours of fiddling around. Awesome Trek bike shop in Folkestone. The mountain bike, I've just lifted the seat up, and yep, that'll do. We'll roll with it. So yeah, my back hurts on that. It's not ideal. And I lock off the hardtail, so I lock off the front suspension as much as I can. There's still a bit of give, but it helps rather than have it bouncy going along the road, especially when I'm out of the saddle. I don't want to be bouncing around if I can help it. I use my on Cloudflow running trainers for the run. Awesome trainers. They did the biz. I've got the trail running shoes for my cross country races, and yeah, they're mega. Innovates great when it's really boggy, but when the ground's a bit firmer, the way I run with my shocking knees, the extra cushioning I got with the ons, yeah, it's just much better, and helped me survive some of the harder packed races. What I was thinking about when I was running, because I was running in the dark, just thinking back to the video I put out the other week about change of pace, change of like perspective. So change pace, change perspective. Running in the dark just adds a completely different perspective as well, and especially running at the minute, this lockdown on COVID-19, it's not like your normal race where you've got potentially crowds, or you've got other competitors that you can get the buzz off. You can maybe, depending on how fast you're going, you can have a chat with someone next to you as you're going past, or they're going past you, and it just helps you along. But when you're on your own, no matter it's night or day, it's just you and your thoughts. So it's good bit of mental training. But yeah, so change of pace of this race compared to last week, totally different, because you're going at it that little bit harder. And tomorrow, Monday, there's going to be a little, I can't remember if it's a sprint or a super sprint. So again, that's changing pace again, and it just brings a whole different perspective on how you feel, what you see when you're running and when you're riding. And again, if there was a swimming element, what you'd see and feel during that. But at night as well, it just really zoned everything in, especially when you couldn't really see much. So yeah, it just really gets you thinking, and you go into like maybe different areas of your mind you haven't really explored either before or in a long time. And like I said a couple of weeks ago, like that Bruce Lee meditation, if you get into that and you start to sort of zone out as such, your body you just carry on running. Your body knows what it needs to do, and your mind sort of, for me, it goes one of two ways. Either I think about a lot of stuff and it's my time to put everything into perspective, plan stuff, organise stuff, and when I'm thinking about and doing that, I'm not really worried about what my legs are doing. Okay, if it's in a race, then I'll be a bit worried about pace and that, but for these virtual races, it's fine. I'm not really competing against anyone. I'm using them as training sessions for hopefully Ironman Switzerland this year, if not Ironman Switzerland next year. But yeah, it's just really good, really calming on the mind. And if I'm not putting things into perspective and working through things, it's like my mind, I get that stillness of mind, the blankness, and it's like you zone out, and again your body knows what it's doing, and you just carry on running, and you're not overthinking things. And the way I put it when I'm doing that, it's like, if you're driving your car, and at the end of the car journey, you get out, you stop and you get out and you think, how have I got here? And it's like you've done everything on autopilot, you've got no recollection of actually getting there, but you're doing stuff, changing gears, changing lanes, and it's all happening without consciously being aware of it. And it's the same with the running. And you can your body's tired, but at least your mind's relaxed. And I can't remember if I've mentioned it before, but I saw another YouTube video recently. It's one of the TED Talks. It's about long distance runners and staying in the moment. And the chap talking about it was just saying, just count in your head. So start off counting fairly fast. So maybe 1 to 100, sort of fairly fast. But then after that, trying to say 152, that's not going to equal the sort of pace I'm going at. However, it keeps my mind off the pain in my legs. So when I have done faster efforts, I've tried that method. Now and again, I will get distracted and have to start the count again, which is fine. And weirdly, the longer I've been in the army, so I'm pretty much at my 22-year point now. I'm out this year, but I've started must have been over like the last 10 years getting numbers jumbled up. So that doesn't really help. However, in this instance, when I'm trying to concentrate on the numbers, it really does help, because it takes my mind off the pain of what my legs are going through. And again, like I said before, your body knows what it's doing, and you can still go along at a bit of a gallop. And even if you are counting, you will notice if your pace drops off, and you can get back on it. So yeah, change of pace, change of perspective. But like I was thinking, in the dark, back in my hometown of Dartford, there's something they do called Midnight Man, and I believe they do Olympic distance, middle distance and full distance all through the night. And it just got me thinking, what would it be like to do that Midnight Man? I imagine it would be pretty grim in places, but what a thing to do. It's not something we normally do. I don't imagine just a triathlon throughout the night in the dark. And I imagine it'd be pretty incredible doing a full distance on that. I mean, the route's going to be fairly boring. I don't go back there too often, but I'm familiar with the route, and it'll be a few loops. It won't be the most exciting thing, nothing compared to what Switzerland will be this year, and what Austria was last year. Ironman Austria 2019 was absolutely stunning, even in that electrical storm in the mountains, where I got as low and tight onto that bike as I could, and was insanely jealous of anyone who had any form of raincoat or bin bag or anything like that. Just had my tri-suit, and as you can see, I'm not the biggest of blokes, and my body fat percentage is quite low down, so I got cold and wet very quickly. However, again, this time in the military, it has helped me, at least mental toughness, to just keep going. So that got me through it. It's not just military people that keep going. There's so many civilians there that have got that mental toughness anyway. Everyone's got it in them. You'll know it. Your body can carry on going. It's just your mind you've got to convince. So once you've had that internal struggle with yourself, as long as you get over that hill in your mind, you can complete what you start. And it's all about the goal setting, breaking it down into them little bits, even to the point where it's one step at a time, or one rotation of the pedals at a time. One way or another, we're getting round, and we can apply that to everything in life. So now we've gone off on that massive tangent. Ironman Virtual Race 2. Long may they continue. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for support. You can follow me on Instagram, This Veteran Can. You might see a few different photos and a few little video comments of me out and about, especially on that bike. normally when I'm riding up the hill I love on that route. I say love-hate relationship, but I love it up until the point someone comes casually cruising past me on a road bike, barely breathing, while my face is purple and I'm spinning my legs for all I'm worth, cursing the rolling resistance and them big tyres. But it could be worse. I could try doing it on a fat bike. No, that would be a challenge. But anyway, if you can, give us a look in on Instagram, and yeah, it'd be nice to get a few more subscribers. Any comments? Yeah, I'd like to hear those. If it is criticism, constructive is probably best. Try and hold back on the abuse. That'd be nice. And I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.